see if it sticks. And we've got a new segment for you this week, this Monday, and a lovely Monday it is. It is called See How It Ranks.
Yeah.
I forgot the segment name. I've got a couple of special guests in with us this week. One is a name you'll all know, and that is Mr. Dominic Alexander.
Hello.
And one is one who you may recognise from earlier episodes of the main episode, Mr. Samuel Wise.
Hello.
How are you both today?
I'm doing quite fine, thank you.
I'm very well. Looking forward to this new segment.
Excellent. We'll see how it goes today. I mean, we've just been knocking the old idea balls around in the recording space. So we think that we've got a nice little format for you to present to you guys this week, and we hope you enjoy it. Who wants to make a start with?
Okay, well, today I've brought in for you guys my nice new rabbit hutch.
I can see that.
And yes, so this is my rabbit hutch. We don't actually have any rabbits. We use it as more of a feature in our house. But as you can see, we've got the nice, lovely netting across the front, doily shaped. And then as you open the door, you go inside, and there's some hay there. And we've also put a hamster ball inside it, as you can see there.
Some sort of ironic joke, I believe.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, I can see why you have the hamster ball in there, Sam, because what would be the point of having a rabbit hutch if you had nothing in it?
Of course, yes.
I think rabbit hutches historically used for containing rabbits, but I think it's sort of a not necessarily what I would have a rabbit.
No, well,
hutch.
You see, me and my girlfriend, we like to think of ourselves as people who think outside of the hutch.
Of course.
Very good.
Of course. Well, with that, I think maybe it's time for us to get straight down to the nitty-gritty. If that's okay with you, Sam.
That's perfectly fine.
If you just lift it up here on the table so that it's in full view.
Oh, yes, wonderful.
Lovely. I mean, if I may begin.
You're the host.
The netting on the front, although I do like a doily, is a bit of a brain crimper for me.
A brain crimper? See, I would have talked to it about as a bit of a thigh smoother, but brain crimper it could be as well. Possibly a level 5 brain crimper.
You're going in quite high. I was gonna say 7.
Oh, really? Well, perhaps you should go even lower and go to 10.
No, I mean, no. If you're going for level 7, I was going to go for more. If you're going, getting my words all mixed up in my mind cavern. If you're going in for a level 5, I was going to say maybe a platform 7.
A platform 7 now. I don't know. Perhaps a gate 25?
It's rounded. If I was going to say something, if I was
whilst running parallel to the oblong.
It goes without saying.
Yes. Well, I just wanted to make it sure for the listeners at home. Yeah.
No. I think probably if you're going to say anything as a definite, I would say rounded.
Yes.
Do you have anything
Well, I've always thought as a doily that it does divide people right down the middle of the circle.
Semi.
Well, yeah, semi, exactly.
I mean, I think probably we all have strong feelings on hutches, and that is the reason why if you bring anything, any sort of subject matter like this to the podcast, then you're gonna have a divided table.
Exactly.
Now the hay, is that Dorset Cray barrel?
No, that is Somerset semi-barrel.
Now, that is surprising. Now, I would put that in the region of about an 11 degree.
Although I have to say
Freeze.
it has been aged as well for 2 years, so you know it's the best. It's the best that money
That
can
is a
buy.
real blind llama.
A very much a blind llama. But even maybe a confused alpaca? You've got to give me that.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Okay. No. Okay. No, I can get behind that and that analysis.
Yes, that was very. What's the word? It's very.
It's I mean it's important with anything. You know, you have to keep the hutch in context. You know, if you forget the context, you forget. You know,
Yeah.
it's important.
It's important.
Otherwise, people just run off on a Steve train.
Yes, indeed. I was just about to say the very safe thing.
If something really bothers me about the hutch is its likeness to a house.
Do you think that has some sort of overtone of colonial embarrassment?
I think it's the roof that I don't like. Don't like roofs in general.
They insist upon themselves.
Yes.
Yes.
And not just that. It's you say that you can judge a man by the company he keeps, and I think the same with roofs. And they seem to have allied with the gutters. And what does that say to you?
Well, as the great Oscar Wilde once said, you can be down in the gutters, but you can still look up at the stars.
Very true.
I feel like we should take a moment to take that in, Dominic. That was beautiful.
Should we have a moment of group contemplation?
Yes.
Excellent. I do think, though, the roof is a point of contention for me, and I think that the roof and its similarities to that of a house mean that I cannot give it a level 5, as you have suggested. I think it brings it right down to a B. Even with the hay, maybe even a B1.
A B1?
A B1 to the right.
To the right. I was thinking a B1 to the left, but...
Why?
Well, I just thought it was more left-leaning towards the flangiogram. That's it goes without saying, if something leans left as much as this hutch does, then surely we have to pay respects to the great Douglas Flangiogram in his treatise, Hutches. What about him?
But when you think about it outside of tonal mathematics and base the hutch in the cone of excitement,
Oh, well.
as you know, left doesn't actually exist on that axis. It only has an up, a down, and a right.
I think you're taking us into the rhombus of discontent. Try to visualize, if you will, a four-dimensional tesseract of the spectrum of emotion one can feel about a hutch.
Purple through green.
Well, I was thinking more yellow through umber, but purple through green will do, for the sake of argument.
I'm just trying to give the listeners at home a clear picture of where we're...
Oh, well, this is what we're trying to do.
Sorry.
After all, we try and make things as clear as possible within our frame of disatonification. That's all I was going to say. But
It's a fair comment for you.
yeah, well, thank you.
Fair.
If you take this 4-dimensional tesseract encompassing all spectrum of emotions from purple to green, I think we can say that it does land upon a level 5 B1 right leaning. I'll give you that. But I think we can both agree that it's a 7C for the show overall.
Yes. So we're putting a strong maroon on that then.
Yes, strong maroon.
Excellent.
Strong maroon.
Oh.
Well, I have to admit, I'm pleased with that. I thought we were going to be around the Z14 mark, but actually, I'm very pleased by that. So,
Oh,
that's good.
you underestimate yourself, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing that in today, Sam.
It was a pleasure.
It was a riveting argument, but I think we came together in the end.
Yeah. Have you got did you bring in a little one this week?
Well, yes, I did. If you would, I just need to root around for a second.
No worries.
I've brought in this digital scale with one crack down the side of it.
Now, just to make sure that the listeners at home get a full picture of this, what side is the crack on?
It is in the 4th quadrant on the leftmost side.
Right.
And the scale goes from 0, I assume.
Yes, to 12-teen.
Excellent. And
As most scales do.
Of course.
before we get into it, just so that I know where exactly to place the anvil to begin with, have you weighed anything with it before? Or is it not that type of scale?
Well, it isn't that kind of scale. I mean, it broke because of a extreme weight of melancholy upon the owner's soul. And fun quiz, if you can guess who the owner was by the end of it, I have a fun anecdote about that person.
Oh.
But
Great, I can't wait for that.
yes, but please, yes.
Dom's anecdotes often are the highlight of the show.
Well,
Yes.
thank you, Dan. And
If you haven't heard him talk about his scales before,
I've not heard this
well,
story.
it comes from my vast collection of scales owned by famous and little-known figures. But this actually broke under the owner's weight of melancholy he found when he realised that it was a scale for grass, and only grass. So, yeah, and it sort of switched to the emotional spectrum. Anyway, it's broken. See how it ranks.
opening words, Sam.
Well, this is a subject of particular interest to me.
Excellent.
After
Following
reading-
words, Dom.
Fantastic.
Concluding words, Sam.
I think that mass is important, and whether that be on a 14 to 17 or a 24 receding to -1, we can't forget that.
I think it's important not to forget the improper numbers here.
Exactly.
Wow. Yes, I'm very interested in that. Now, if you will, try and take a mind shape on this one. Try and synergize it with your cognitive affluence. This
I've got a
belonged...
source bubble.
Yeah, got a source bubble.
I
Now,
don't know
can
if you
anyone
hear-
tell me...
I don't know if you can hear this on the microphone.
Oh, yes.
It's going on right now.
Now, can anyone tell me who do you think owned it?
I think I have an idea.
Really?
Yes. Just because looking at it, I can see where grass has previously been placed on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I know from the placement, was it Sir Giles Mover?
You might have been correct 10 minutes ago. But actually, Sam, do you know?
I have to admit I have no idea. My first My first choice would have been the entire band of Genesis.
Correct.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well done.
Thank you.
And incorrect. You must remember to always go with your gut stink.
I try to, but sometimes I doubt myself, and that just leads me into a proper Z14, so I try not to.
That's fine. Yes. It was
Tumultuous.
Now, the person who kept it in his house was Phil Collins,
Of course.
as we all know. A big believer in grass weighing.
Famous grass mower. I believe that is how he came to fame. Before he decided to take up guitar,
Yes.
then bass, bassoon, clarinet, djembe, which I believe was his first foray into the world of percussion, before leaving it for 7 years to pick up a living as a banjo player in Lincoln High Street. I'm quite a big Genesis fan. I will just point out now their B-side, Little Man Sitting on the Grass Bank with a Wheelbarrow, one of my favourite songs of the 20th century.
And
I do not know many songs in the 20th century. Sometimes people suggest that I've only heard 2, that and, of course, YMCA by the famous Pet Shop Sanctuary.
Yes.
Anyway, I digress. After the stint banjo playing, he made enough money to open his shop, Sassy Peters, where, as you know, he sold the very first Flymo lawnmower starting fuse, which went at auction 3 years ago for more than £80.
A princely sum.
All this before he joined the band.
Amazing. Truly amazing.
Well, that was going to be my anecdote, so excellent.
I feel like I've gazumped you now.
No, you haven't gazumped me. You've taken the load of storytelling off my shoulders, which is always a pleasant thing. Now, please, rank it.
This is a difficult one, given the rich history of the scale.
And it obviously has great sentimental value as well to you.
Yes, well, yes.
Obviously. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. Go on.
I would say by visualizing a pyramid with 4 sides, not the traditional 2-sided pyramid.
Ah, yes.
A 4-sided pyramid, not including the bottom or the small step on top. As you know, you can never get a true point on a pyramid. Building it with traditional medieval techniques. 4 sides, not including those 2. Going down, if you take a line down, find its tangential run, take the integral of the curve. I'm taking some liberties with this, but pointing round towards the tip, through the shaft of the pyramid. I think there's a point around there, which is where I think I would like to place my marker.
I see. Profound.
Well, yes, that was exceedingly, I feel, summed a lot of my feelings up, but I prefer to give it a rank out of Peter Jones's Polygon of Peace, by taking the fourth angle, subtracting that by the sentimental value, and I think I'm lying on about a 12 to 14C, I would say.
Oh,
So funny. This is the real beauty of having guests like Sam in the studio, is that it's lovely to get the scientific standpoint as well as the philosophical and the landscape of the piece as a whole.
yeah,
Exactly.
That's very true.
Yeah, it's important to take the tip of it and make sure that you cover it all, I feel.
Excellent. Well, I'm happy with that.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to wrap this up for this week. See how it rates. Is it the podcast? I think is the best way to describe what it is that we've just done.
And what a truly rewarding experience it has been. And I, as a guest as well, I hope that whoever is listening has had as much of a rewarding experience as I have being part of this new segment. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. And Dom, we will be back very soon. As soon as we find the area of the room in which I concealed the hamster.
Excellent. Well, for See If It Ranks this week, I've been Dominic.
I've been Sam.
And I've been your host, Dan.